don't underestimate the power of like visualizing what you want your future to look like, because it will tell you what your next step has to be.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to discuss the jubilant convo I have with Sandy Joy Weston in our last interview. If you haven't listened to that interview, go back and listen to it now, and then come back and join us, or listen to this and listen to that. You know, you can do you. It's so fun when you can listen to this and then listen to the full interview. It's so fun.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Today is January 30th, also known as National Plan for a Vacation Day, because, you should take more vacations. In fact, Brad and I are working on more vacations than work trips for 2024.
That's what we're working on.
We already have a vacation planned.
We do.
In a few weeks, we're going to be in Cabo.
I'm excited.
I know. So where are y'all going? We want to know. We're going to plan a vacation.
Yeah.
You should plan one, even if it can't be for this year. Put it in the books for next year, because before you know it, like I met someone who's like, they've never taken their honeymoon. It's been 20 years. I'm like, in 20 years, you never found time? Like, not even money. Like, you never just like decided to make any one of your trips like your actual honeymoon. You gotta be intentional, people.
Yeah. I mean, it also helps with like mental health.
Yes.
Just hitting the reset button.
Yes. One of the things that I had our assistant do is go through our calendars and find a weekend in every quarter where we could pack the van up and go drive somewhere, because there's like so many things that we could see within driving distance.
That's cool. You know, we've still never been to Death Valley.
I know.
It's right here.
That's one of the things we can go do. So anyways, we're doing it.
I love it.
I know. Also, I haven't taken you to the Sands Hotel, which I love so much. What? I know. So,
can we drive to that?
Yeah, that's how I got there.
I know which one you're referring to. Down in California.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
So anyways, make sure you tell your friends to plan their vacations too, because that's how the world goes around. So it is. We got peer pressure in a good way. Go plan a vacation. Agency Mini number 10 starts on February 11th.
That's in less than 2 weeks, y'all.
It means you got to sign up now. And we don't even know if number 11's happening this year or next year. We haven't planned it yet.
That's true. This might be the year that we only do one. We'll see.
We've been really trying to get down to one, and this might be the year that we do it. We'll let you know.
So don't wait on this. Even if you can't join everything live, you should still participate, because we will have access to replays for you, limited access, but it'll be there.
Yeah. And then the summer camp for OPC, I know it's only January, we're talking summer camp, but we are doing that because it's going to be the biggest summer camp we've ever done. Also, this year with OPC, we are doing less workshops throughout the year, and in fact, putting them all in one big epic weekend. Don't worry, there's replays. It's virtual. You can do it. So stay tuned for that. And then just so you know, even though technically the OPC Reformer Accountability Challenge kind of wrapped today, you can actually sign up for it and start at any time. The way that we made it, the way we created it, the way everything goes is that you start that accountability challenge when you're ready.
Yep.
And so all you do is go to opc.me/challenge, and you can start your Reformer accountability program now. So you didn't miss anything at all. Look at that.
Didn't miss it at all. And if you want to do it more than once in a year, congratulations.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Do it again. And for my Mat lovers in March Madness, we will do that for you. So this is the year I will do something for March Madness. It's not going to be on my Instagram. It's going to be this, because it's like actually way cooler and gives you something to do. So stay tuned. We'll let you know when that's coming up next month. And then we are
flashcards.
The flashcards
to be determined on the exact pre-sale date.
For the pre-sale for the barrel stack is we're working on it. Here's the deal. I'll be really honest. On the day that we're recording this, I just found out that they still don't have a SKU for the barrel that I need to buy to do the photo shoot.
So as soon as the content's almost done, as far as the copy, the layouts are done, the design is done. We just need to do a photo shoot, and then we'll be able to actually pull it all together, and then we'll be able to review it a few times by other teachers.
Yes, and then once it goes to print. So our goal is April, but get on the wait list at opc.me flashcard wait list. That's one word, apparently.
Flashcard singular. Flashcard wait list. opc.me/flashcard wait list.
It's the longest word. Flashcard wait list. All one word, no hyphens.
Spelling with Brad.
Yes. And then we just closed the early bird for Cambodia.
For the Lesley Logan
my goodness.
retreat.
I'm going to shout out to Mandy and Liza because, Mandy and Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Lisa. I'm like, Lisa with a teaser. They're coming to Cambodia. They're already signed up. It is that Mandy's 60th birthday present to herself. And we're going to have a biggest blast. You have to join these amazing women and a bunch of others who are already signed up. So if there's spots left, you can sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't wait on that. There might not be spots left here. So if this is something you've been thinking about, just reach out.
Yeah. All right. So before we talk about Sandy, we have an audience question.
We totally do. This one was fun. Was actually asked live in person while we were on our...
Actually, no. It came through Instagram.
Oh.
After they
the
met
tour.
us.
And just kidding.
Yeah.
I recognize the name, so I assumed.
Yes.
Cicely from Austin, Texas. First off, great to hang with you on the winter tour. That was so much fun.
And talk about really when the peer pressure is a good way. Cicely peer pressured her friend Julie to come to the workshop and then peer pressured herself and Julie to stay for the second one. So like it could be a good thing.
It was a win. It was a good time. But she asked, how do we shower in the van when we're on the road? And where do we sleep?
Yeah. So apparently many of you don't realize we actually do sleep in the van.
In the van.
We sleep in the van.
With 3 dogs.
Yeah. So here is the thing. We met this guy. This is not your question, Cicely, but I just have to put this out there. So we're in one of the cities and this guy comes up to me and we're like talking about, there's like, oh, so it's like, I was putting the table together with all of the merch and the flashcards. And he's like, oh, so it's like bands, like where you make no money on the tour and you make money on the merch instead. And I said, we actually, as far as the tour merch goes, we make $0 on that. We make money on the tour, unlike bands. And because you guys, we don't stay in hotels.
That's right.
We sleep in the van, like band people would sleep in a van. We don't. Like,
yeah,
well,
maybe. They usually sleep on people's couches.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we don't do that. You know what? We did that the first time we cross-country tour. We like had friends like loan us their guest rooms and it's honestly annoying. Like I love my friends and it's so fun to visit with them, but lugging your stuff in and out of the car for each stop is just like packing and unpacking. So
that's what it felt like the whole time. Yeah.
We have a great bed in the van. And you'd be surprised like how cold it doesn't get in the van and how well you sleep because it's a little chilly.
Plus, we get to hang with our friends anyway. We just don't have to do the packing unpack.
Yeah, we love seeing our friends. We just don't have to pack and unpack. You're correct. We don't currently yet have the toilet that I would like the van to have.
Yeah, that's going to happen before the summer tour.
That's kind of key, you guys, that one, because like in the middle of the night, sometimes you just want to pee again and you don't want to like go into the Planet Fitness and check in for the 3rd time that night.
It's true.
Hi, checking in.
Yeah, so that's actually where we shower.
Yeah, we shower.
To answer the other question,
yes.
We have a membership to Planet Fitness, and there are...
And they don't sponsor us.
I don't even know how many locations they have.
They don't sponsor us.
No, they don't.
No, this is not even a promo for them, but you can. So here's the deal. We just get their like unlimited membership. And then we use it for the massage chairs, the showers, and I work out there.
In the United States, there are 2,392 locations of them.
Yeah. So, and we've probably been to a good 50 of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's been really good. And honestly, not everywhere, but most towns that we stopped in have a Planet Fitness.
Have one or two for us to choose from. No, I'm going to say not all of them are created equal.
That's true.
I am wanting like a secret job where I get paid to review the bathrooms. Because like a
couple of them are amazing. And others are like, what the hell happened here?
Yes. Some of them I'm like, I think that, so because like we use the Love's truck stops a lot too.
Yeah.
And all but one.
Sorry, they're travel centers?
Travel centers. The Love Travel Centers. So we love the Love Travel Centers. We can't do a Planet Fitness. I've not showered at one, although I have to imagine that they're super clean because all but one Love Travel Center ever. We've only ever had one. There's only one female restroom that I've ever been like, I can barely pee here. Every other one has been the cleanest thing I've ever seen. And so I imagine that the showers are beautiful there too. I just haven't done it, mostly because I don't see any other women over in that shower area, and it makes me nervous. I'm probably telling myself a new story there. Anyways, hope that answers your question. We love answering these random questions from you guys. They're so fun because, inquiring minds want to know. So send your questions in the Beit pod. We'll answer them.
Yeah.
Clearly no questions off limits. We'll tell you what we're feeding. And now let's talk.
Everybody's doing it.
Everyone poops.
Everybody poops.
That's true. Okay.
I think it's a book.
It is. Let's talk about Sandy.
Okay. Now let's talk about Sandy Joy Weston. Sandy is an accomplished entrepreneur in the health and wellness sector, holding a master's degree in exercise physiology and a bachelor's in dance. Her leadership, marked by a passion for fostering growth and guiding her team, is driven by a core goal: helping others to discover and embrace the joy within themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. She is pure joy. I mean,
exuberant.
She just is. She's so fun.
Yeah.
And
that whole interview went by so fast. I was just really enjoying it.
Yeah. She was fabulous. So anyways, my favorite takeaway that I loved, she said, the most desperate situation, I could put a smile on someone's face. So I love this because it seems so like some people would not really give themselves credit for being able to put smiles on people's faces and like bring joy to someone. But actually, you guys, like the world's a really heavy place. And, if you can like put a smile on someone's face, that might be the first time they smiled that day. And so she, she had a really hard life. She grew up in the projects. Her mom spent 50% of her life in mental hospitals. Her brother had a challenging time, but she would like throw on tap shoes and she would dance and entertain people. And she just was like, she didn't need to have a cure. She just wanted to like put a smile on people's face. And so she knew that that in those moments she could bring people hope. And I just think that I think it's really cool that she gives herself credit for that, because so many people just would be like, I'm not curing cancer, So, and it's like, no, you're not, but doesn't mean you can't make people feel loved and smile.
Yeah, totally. And it sounds like she had a challenging upbringing and you wouldn't know it because of her attitude and her willingness to find joy.
Yeah. Well, we're listening to Brad Bizjack and we're doing some stuff, and he talks about you can have a tough past, but your past doesn't have to dictate your present.
Yeah, it doesn't have to define you.
No, it can just it can be something that happened, and but you became this person because of those things, and not in spite like you can actually use it for good.
Yeah,
and
in spite of those things.
In spite of those things, and you don't have to continue to bring that up. Some people just continue to bring up, I'm from the projects. And it's like, yeah, I grew up poor too. And that doesn't have to mean that you stay poor.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, she also talked about one thing I really dug, which is different than what my actual point is. She talked about seeing herself on stage, but effectively manifesting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just found it so interesting because I've been listening to the mindset of abundance a lot recently, and seeing the way that she described it, it wasn't even she didn't even talk about manifestation. She just talked about envisioning herself speaking on the stage in front of 10,000 people, shaking hands with Tony Robbins, being peers, doing all the things where she wakes up and does this thing and she goes, oh my gosh, I can feel the energy of that. I know how amazing it is going to be, how epic that is going to be. And then, within, I don't know what the actual time was, but shortly thereafter, she's actually starting to book gigs that are larger gigs like this. And because she's ready for it, she's mentally ready for it. When someone asks her the question, she's like, yeah, I'm in, I got this. I know that I can do this kind of thing. I just thought, how amazing is that?
Yeah.
That she can, see, and see herself in the moment. She's being it till she sees it.
Yeah.
It's literally that. But also it's it's like what my dad taught me when I was a kid.
What? See yourself hitting the ball?
Into the net.
Yeah.
Kicking that ball into the net. See it go in the net before you ever actually kick the ball.
Yeah.
And, so it's not this weird left field idea, and so I just love that she's bringing it back around, because here I am in my 40s and that's not something that I do. I don't see the ball go in the net before I kick the ball at this point in my life. And I found that very refreshing that she's 63 and she's doing that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah.
But what else?
Yeah. So actually, that was all a side note, y'all, because I just thought it was really inspiring. she talks about how she landed this gig in Thailand in 2018 for an international women's conference. And she said, who am I to be on the stage with all these doctors and like women of prestige and all this stuff? And they're like, who the hell are you that you booked this gig? And she's like literally getting judged. Right. And she said she was super, super worried about this, so she spent 6 solid months prepping for this 90 minutes. She was the keynote speaker. Right. And they're all like, who is Sandy Joy Weston? Why is she the keynote speaker? Right. And so she's prepping and she said, I knew I was going to blow all their minds with all this information about the brain and all the things and like cognitive, blah, blah, blah. Right. And so she was like, she practiced and practiced and practiced. And she got there and she realized 15 minutes in that half the audience wasn't understanding her because there was a language barrier.
Yeah.
And she literally like, she had the wherewithal to identify that and stop her own presentation, get out of her own head and be like, hey, y'all, are you figuring out, are you even understanding me? Right. I don't know how she said it, but she said, if you're only picking up every other word, raise your hand. And she said like half the crowd raised their hand. And she was like, okay. So all this really sciencey stuff that I had planned out the window. And she said, you know what? These people they need to move. They need to dance. Mm-hmm. They need to, there's a weird barrier here because of the language. There's a weirdness between the women. And she identified that in the moment. And so she had no soundtrack. She had nothing. She started everybody dancing to a song that she pulled up on her phone. Right. And she said for the rest of the weekend, people would just take a moment and do a couple moves from the dance. And she said it changed the entire vibe of however many people were at this conference. And, good for her. First off, that's amazing. And also, I mean, a little bit of a hell yeah, because she said those people who were judging her came back and said, got it, figured out why you're the keynote speaker. But man, I just thought that was so inspiring.
Yeah.
That she had, she basically prep. And in the moment realized this is wrong. Yeah. And was willing to change course in the middle of the moment.
I think that's what's so cool about preparation and opportunity. Like you're like some would say, well, she just wasted her time. No, she couldn't have done what she did had she not known what she was going to say so much to know and visualized so much to know what it was going to be like. And then going, oh, there's a map. This is not going the way that I anticipated. So like,
also, I think, circles like what she actually said, which I thought was really also inspiring was all that preparation to talk about science and the brain. She's like, yeah, okay, I have a master's degree, but I'm not a doctor. Yeah. And I was thinking that I was going to be impressing the other presenters and showing them, well, I know my stuff too.
Thanks, Gaia. By the way. But you know what? That was timely because Sandy's phone fell. So Gaia fell into ours.
Yes, Gaia just banged the table so hard that the camera shook.
Yeah.
Lay down, girl. Okay. But what she said is, that isn't me. I'm not the sciencey person, right? Who am I? I'm a movement person who helps people find joy. Yeah. And so she realized mid pitch that what she was doing wasn't her, changed it to be her and nailed it.
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love that.
All right. So finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Sandy Joy Weston? I thought that I'm just going to jump in here, y'all. I'm going to take the first swing. She said, think about one area in your life that you want to up level. Only one. And she said, she listed off a couple, like your emotional health or your physical health or, just pick one. You can't pick them all. Start with one, and do a 4-week trial of making changes in that area. Before you go, get out of bed in the morning, think of one word of how you want to show up in that day in that area of your life. So ask yourself, what would you do? What would you say? How would you act if you had ease and flow in, mindset? Let's just say, like, here's a good example. My ex-girlfriend dumped me many, many years ago because she said, Brad, you're angry. You're really angry all the time. And your anger, actually, I know you're not angry at me, but your anger affects me. It really affects me. And I can't be around it. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what I said. But, if I were to want to address that, for me, I think I would have to like take a music stand, put it on the side of my bed, and write on a piece of paper and put it right there so that when I sat up in the morning, it's the first thing I would see.
I love it's a music stand. Like you can't just like put it on a post-it note on the wall when you roll over.
No, I was full-blown musician at this point in my life, right? So, what do I have available to me? I have a music stand. So, I would have had to do that so that, because if I try to remember tomorrow morning, the first thing I do when I wake up is I'm going to say this mantra. No, I won't. I'll probably have a shit night's sleep, to be quite honest, because I'm trying to remember this thing all night long. No. So put it on a music stand, put it next to the bed, sit up, and then ask yourself, okay, if today I want to be less angry, what am I going to do today that is going to be less angry? What am I going to say today that how am I going to act? What am I going to be? How am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
How is this going to be easier and flow easier? And she said, give yourself 30 seconds, write it down somewhere, and then go through the day saying, I feel ease and flow in this area of anger. And then see what you can do about it in your life and take that action. So yeah, I think that's really great, very actionable, free, easy thing to undertake.
I love when being action is free because here's another one. Mine.
Tell me.
She said you should use visualization as a manifestation tool. And she talked about how she personally used it. We talked about it a little bit, but she used it to envision herself on big stages. She envisioned herself striking a convo with Tony Robbins and then being on the same stage with him in Las Vegas conference. She envisions herself on the TEDx stage. She often then asks herself, like, what else do I want? What else do I want? So she can continue to visualize and manifest what she wants. And Brad.
Tell me.
Well, did she get the gig?
We have an update for y'all. During the interview, she said, I thought I was interviewing this woman to be on, I'm assuming she has a podcast or a YouTube channel or something.
Yeah.
And she said, actually, that woman was interviewing me and she got the gig, y'all. She landed that TEDx talk. So I don't know when it's coming out, but congratulations to Sandy Joy Weston. We're so fired up for her. What an amazing coincidence that she manifested, prepared for, was ready to go. It was amazing. That's amazing.
I know. So y'all, don't underestimate the power of visualizing what you want your future to look like, because it will tell you what your next step has to be. So,
well said.
I know. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for being part of this podcast journey with us. Here's to another year. And I know it's January 30th and it's past the Happy New Year, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. Sometimes January takes a while. You got to get it. You got to figure out what you want. And also I don't know why there's a new year in January. Anyways, the middle of winter. Anyway, that's a whole other topic, but anyways, astrology would like to know. So you can reset yourself and start the new year and visualize what you want out of this year and use Sandy Joy's Be It Action Item and tag the Be It Pod. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.
And then we are
flashcards.
The flashcards
to be determined on the exact pre-sale date
for the chairs deck. Really, babe?
For the barrels deck. For the barrels deck. Who wrote this? Who put this script together?
we gotta put it in their performance review. Anyways, the pre-sale for the barrels deck is